trade 45 minutes for a month worth of content. You want to create very targeted messaging when it comes to these 5 pillars of content. And we'll get into it. Questions, teaching type posts, results orientated posts, relatable posts. That's where you get to be a person and just talk about your life. So now you can share your dog. Okay. And direct posts. That's where you get to be super salesy and just be like, you really got to check this out. All right. So let's get into what a question means.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump into questions here. So this question posts, this is the type of post that is really to create engagement, and it boosts the algorithm so that more people are seeing your content. So this doesn't necessarily have to do with anything with your business. It doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that you're selling, but it's really just to get people engaging. And as Facebook and a lot of other social networks do this as well, as they see a page getting more engagement, they see posts getting more engagement, it'll start to give more attention to that particular page, to that particular person, to that particular news feed, to say this person has something of value that other people want to see. And so you want to just use a simple color block background. You don't want to make it fancy. You don't want to go crazy, just a really simple color background, and ask a question that's going to create engagement with people. So these are just a couple ideas. Again, you can screenshot these. Either of us can certainly help you come up with more. But one would be, where would you rather work from? Home, beach, or office? I used that one a few months ago, and I think I got 70 or 80 responses on that one. What is something that we never said in the 80s, right? I used that last week. Tons of people, talking about, I've never heard of Snapchat, or, we never said Bay or whatever, right? It's just silly things to create those engagement. What would you do with an extra $500 a month? But this just boosts the algorithm so that Facebook says this person has something of value that they're adding, and I need to show their content to more people.
So we're taking advantage of the fact that, Facebook is a computer. So if you're trying to create an impact, then you're going to want to connect with your audience. This is where digging back and getting into your why is really going to help, because now you're going to think about that particular type of person who's going to be impacted by that pain point or that deep layered health benefit, deep layered makeup benefit, right? What is it that you're targeting? And you're going to think, what are the types of posts that these people would benefit from if I taught them something? And make sure that the first line of whatever you're teaching includes the pain point, so that when people are scrolling Facebook or searching Facebook, your topic is going to come up in front of them and they're going to want to listen. So teaching posts are meant to show your authority on a particular subject. It can be done in your stories, on a post, or in a live, and you would ideally go live once a week at least. So if you're trying to build faster, I would go live at least 3 times a week in order to build influence. And those conversations are going to bridge over into deeper conversations where people can then, in Messenger, learn about the products or services that you offer.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, results posts. So this is where you help people see how working with you will help them achieve the results that they want. This is where you can talk about your personal successes. It could be a business result, it could be product results, or it could even be how a customer is seeing results. One of my favorite types of results posts are testimonies. Being able to share a testimony from a happy customer or another business partner of yours. What are they doing and how were they satisfied? It's so much better to have somebody else speak about the benefits of your product than just yourself. And so I find that is a great way to share results. This could be done in your story, really all of these types of content, right? But I think especially the results, I like sharing them in my story, share them as a post, or it could even be a live video. And one of the really unique ways that I've done results posts is a live video, because like Chrissy said, ideally, if you want to build quickly, 3 live videos a week. So 3 of these 5 posts should be a live video. And a really unique way to do a live video on results is to do an interview with your customer. If you just sold a new house and you have somebody who's completely thrilled about it, do a video, get their engagement, get their excitement. If you have somebody who's used your health and wellness products and they're seeing amazing results and they're sleeping and they feel healthy or they've lost weight, do a video, have them talk about that in this results post.
Awesome. So relatable personal posts. I think most of you will agree this is going to be the easiest type of post because you're pretty much an expert on yourself, right? So people need to see that you're a real person. People buy from people they like, they know, and they trust. And if they relate to you, there is an instant connection, right? Think when you go on your first date with somebody, as soon as you have relatable subjects, how much easier is that conversation? Those are the people that you want on your team, in your business that you're selling to. Those are the people that you're going to have happiest teammates, happiest customers, right? So give them a window into your life in a way that helps them relate. So yeah, you might have to be a little bit vulnerable at times if you're sharing about weight loss. You might need to be vulnerable at times if you're talking about how financial, improvements have helped your family. And being vulnerable allows others to be vulnerable too. Customers buy and work with people they like, know, and trust. And especially if you're posting on your personal social media, you need to remember that people follow you for who you are. So what makes you stand out from somebody else who's selling from the exact same company or a company that's very similar is literally you. And if anyone's teaching you to be them and duplicate them, then they could be doing you a major disservice because who you are is going to really count towards getting people to trust you. And direct posts. This is where most people who are trying to get into sales are probably more natural, right? It's literally the direct product pitch or talking about how your product will help meet a need that your customer is facing. So you can literally be like, hey, here's my drink. And it's amazing because it's helped me do XYZ and it's on sale today. So I'd love for you to take a look and get $10 off if you place an order today. Love you, right? That's pretty direct. Another direct approach that is less to do with sales, which is actually in a way indirect, but it's still direct, is when you say to somebody, hey, I just read about how this nutrient helps with all of these things in this fascinating article, right? And it's also going to help with ADHD. Like list a pain point. Who wants the link? Guess what? It has nothing to do with your business, but it's super direct and you're going to love it because now you're generating leads. Okay, so you need to be a professional lead machine and connection creator where you're constantly creating new contacts that you can then cycle through with conversations that are short.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, so I mean, each one of these types of content, right? And I've learned a ton of this from Chrissy, who's definitely an expert in this field when it comes to the network marketing. Each one can relate to the other, and this is what I love: is you start getting into the efficiency of creating your content for a month or a week or whatever else. You don't need to get all caught up in every single one individual thing and think about it as an individual post that you need to do. But if you think about how they all relate to each other, you can actually knock out quite a bit of your content planning very quickly. And so for me, I always start with my teaching. I think about what is it that I want to teach my audience about. I start with that number 2, and then everything else from there can relate to your teaching post. So my question can lead into my teaching post. So for example, if I am going to post something about selling cars, then I'm going to teach people about why this particular kind of car gets a higher percentage of gas mileage, or about how do you buy a car, how do you choose the right car. Maybe that's going to be my teaching plan that I'm going to do. Then my question can be, what kind of car do you drive? Or what is it that you like about your car? Or what is it that you wish you could replace on your car, right? Could be any of those type of questions that just get people already thinking. And in marketing, we actually call that priming, right? It's priming people to think about what I'm going to teach them later. The results post can come out of that as well. I can share a testimony about somebody who bought a car from me and they got everything that they wanted in the purchase, and how my company helped them navigate all the ins and outs of buying a car. And then my direct post can go right to, if you're looking for somebody to help you buy a new car, then reach out to me here and I can post my business link, right? Your personal can relate or not relate. It's totally up to you. Just remembering that that personal post is really helping people relate to you personally. So it might be something that relates to my car business in this example, or it might just be a picture of me with my kids as a father and helping other fathers relate to me and see that I'm a relatable person because I'm a father as well. So starting with that teaching post and really planning that out, you can see how every single other piece can kind of spur out of that. I don't know if you have anything else to add into this piece here, Chrissy.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good. And I'm going to bring you guys to the next slide. What you're going to do is you're either going to get a piece of paper, which if you RSVP'd, you should have gotten an image with the brain dump. Or you can do what I like to do and go to squibbler.io. So you can write this down. SQUIBLER.io. It's a free website. And you're going to do their 3 or 5 minute timer. And what that is there's a blank website page. And what I want you to do is pick your target audience and ask yourself, what is it that I want to connect with people on? All right. So you're going to schedule this in. You're going to think, all right, I've got a window of time on my lunch break. I'm going to sit down uninterrupted and I'm going to do this. And you think, what do you want to teach people? And you're just going to write it down without any judgment to what you have to say. And if you do 3 minutes, probably that last minute is when you're going to get the juicy stuff. Okay. And that's where your content's probably going to come from. So and then with squibbler.io, when you go to that website, if you spend more than 5 seconds without typing, everything you've written so far is going to get erased forever. So I like that pressure because it forces me to just type without reservation, without stress, just whatever comes to mind. Ice cream cones. Okay, got it out of my head. Now I can move on to what the subject is. Just type. And then what you do is either some of you are so good at this that you're going to be like, I know exactly what to share. Or some of you are going to have to do it again. And you're going to find your list and you're going to then go, okay, great. So this was about nutrition. I wrote nutrition. You're going to then take another brain dump and you're going to brain dump everything you can think about with nutrition, everything you can think about with PTSD, whatever it is that you're sharing. And from that list, you are going to get an abundance of subjects. All right. And then you can break it down into categories like what Taryn shared earlier.
Yeah, this is so good. So yeah, those of you who had RSVP'd ahead of time, you probably got this too. This is another way to do it on paper, but I like the squibbler.io is a great resource. And then once you get into, you get this brain dump and you say, these are all the things that I want to teach my audience, right? Because we're focused on that teach because we know that out of that teaching post, we can get every other type of content that we need. And so once you have this brain dump, you have this list, you want to ask yourself, what is the journey that I want to take my followers on? If I think over the course of 3, 4, 5 weeks, right? Because our goal is we want to be able to create a month's worth of content in under an hour. And so we want to say over this next 3 or 4 weeks, what are the 3 to 4 topics that I want to teach my audience, and how do I lead them through this particular journey? Where do I want to start, and how do I go through all of those different things? You can highlight on your list anything that fits into that journey. And then at the end of it, you want to just put a number next to each thing in order that you want to teach it. Ideally, again, you'd have that 3 to 4 topics and say, okay, these are my 3 to 4 topics that I'm going to teach on. And then you can go from there to expand. Once you have those 3 to 4 teaching topics, now you're going to build on your list. And on a separate sheet of paper, you're going to write each of those teacher topics. And then underneath it, you want to write question, result, direct, personal, and fill in each of those things as it relates to your teacher post. And just a little note here that, I found as I was going through doing this, right? And I've actually walked through this. I did all my planning it took me 45 minutes. I got all my planning, all my content for a month. And ultimately, I actually came up with way more content than those 3 to 5 posts in a week, which is totally fine because it gave me a ton of extra information that I could use in my stories, gave me a ton of extra stuff that I could use in my reels. And I just kept that sheet of paper with me throughout the month. And every single time I was like, hey, I need to get something in my stories today, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I'd pull that list out and just say, oh, I've already got an idea of 17 other things that fit along with this. And so what Chrissy and I created for you, and if you didn't get this emailed out ahead of time, you can send us your email afterwards and we'll get this to you. But we basically created this organize and build. So from that brain dump, you're going to just write down your 4 teacher topics and jot down under question. Now, this is your engagement post, right? The question that you're going to ask your audience to create engagement around that teacher topic to prime people thinking and getting ready for your teaching post later on in the week. You might have 3 or 4 questions related to that. Again, totally fine. Just jot them down. You're just trying to get stuff out of your head. Out of those 3 or 4, you're going to choose one that'll be your engagement color block. The rest can feed into stories, or you may just ditch them and not use them at all. What's your result? Are you going to share a testimony? Is there a particular customer that really would fit, their testimony would really fit this teacher topic, and you want to reach out to them and ask them if they would do a live interview with you? Your direct post, what is it that you're going to ask people to do? And in your direct post, it's really, what is your call to action? That's where you always want to start with your direct post. What am I hoping that people will do as a result of this direct post? Are they going to book an appointment with me? Are they going to watch a video? Are they going to get into some type of a messenger chat? Are they going to give me some information? As you look at your direct post and you think about that call to action, that'll help you know what you want to write for that direct post. And then your personal, again, it doesn't have to relate to this particular thing, but I love just planning that out ahead of time to say, okay, I'm sitting down doing my planning. I know that I'm going to be out at the fair with my family on a particular day. I'm just going to be really intentional to make sure that I get some good pictures and I post about that, whatever those things may be. But this whole thing, can really give you some great ways just to organize everything. And then you really do in under an hour, you can do all of this and have all your content, all your ideas for an entire month, which is absolutely amazing. How much more efficient you can be in the rest of your business. Because ultimately, like Chrissy said, it's more about generating leads, following up with those leads, and getting results for your business. And so if you don't have to be spending hours and hours and hours creating content every week, that gives you more time to be engaging with your customers, engaging with your leads, and actually converting those leads into customers.
Yes. So your monthly posting plan, and you can screenshot this one, is you're just going to be from that list that we've just taught you how to create. You're going to do 3 results posts. So 3 to 4 posts a week. If you can write 3 results posts, 3 teacher posts, 3 question posts, you get the drift, 3 relatable and 3 directs. Now you have enough content to get you through an entire month. Now, if you needed to post a little bit more frequently, then fine, bump it to 4 results posts. Do you see what I'm saying? But that's it. And then what I want you to do is be super observant over what happens next. Now, Facebook algorithm is based on your time zone, so don't worry if you're worldwide. But if you're trying to reach school teachers and you always post content when the school bell rings, you're probably not going to get as much engagement. But maybe you want to post right before they go to school when they're just mindlessly chilling, right? Or maybe you want to post when school gets out. So what you're going to do is pay attention to when you're sharing to see what's triggering a better response when it comes to the subjects that you're sharing, as well as the time that you share it and the day of the week. And so what you're going to do is if you get a real lead, someone who asks for information about your products, services, or business, that's a real lead. So you're going to put a star next to that post that you went live with and write some facts down about what you learned about that. Okay. People love to see me go live, like whatever it is. What did you learn from that? And you're going to do that again, and you're going to test your theory. Okay. If you don't get any response, that's okay. Don't hurry and delete it. Don't freak out. Okay. It's okay. But I want you to take some notes and see if there's something you could learn from it. I promise you, no one cares. Okay. And so, yeah, go live at least once a week. Going live is the quickest way for people to like, know, and trust you. It's something that's probably you're going to have to show up messy if you've never done it before. And I'll tell you, you're actually going to benefit if you're brand new to this and you show up messy. I would take advantage of that and just literally say, I don't usually go live. I'm super nervous. So bear with me, and people love watching embarrassed, nervous people get to work. So take advantage of it, own up to it. So there was a couple questions in the chat. This is your chance. We'll take like maybe the next 10 minutes or so to personalize this. If you have very direct questions, now's your chance. I did see the question, where do you research on your topic to fill in this list? Pam asked that question. So usually you're attracting somebody who is one step behind you. Okay. So if you've been on the products or you've been on whatever services you provide for 6 months, then you're attracting somebody in right when you started that journey. Okay. Or just before that. Whatever you've experienced is who you're attracting in. So actually, your knowledge and data is you. That's your number one. Your knowledge and data is you. But if you want to get technical and you're wondering what people are talking about within your subject, you're going to just use Google. Google is a search engine that is probably one of the most SEO marketed, experienced platforms you can find. If you type anxiety in there, you're going to get some hot selling anxiety products, right? And so what I would do is click on those ads and see those are paid professional marketers, and see what's trending, and then take that subject line, put it into your Facebook, and see what people are talking about right now on Facebook.
The other place that I get a lot of, really good content, no matter what industry you're in, is look at somebody else who's being really successful in your industry and look at what are they doing, and you can duplicate that. And look at what topics are they talking about. Are they getting engagement? And if they're getting engagement, then you probably will too. Books, reading books and then just regurgitating the same information that you're reading from other people. You can take that same thing and push that out there.
So we had another question in there. How do you use your search bar? I think was the question. I think it was, how do you find your search bar? Is that right? Like, okay.
How do you find your target audience?
Yeah.
How do you find your target audience and people to add? Yeah.
All right. So Taryn already knows where I'm going with this. So he knew the question. So when you are trying to find people to add to your network, or you're trying to find people that are already in your network that are going to relate to what you're about to share or just shared, I actually rarely scroll Facebook. I don't have time. I have 7 kids. I'm busy. What I do is I hop on Facebook, I add my value out there, and then I use the search bar. So I use the search bar most in 3 places. Number one, I will search for the benefits of the products that I sell, right? Because I sell products, and I'm going to search. So Christine has them right up there. So if you're trying to help somebody who has bad sleep, what are some words that somebody who's complaining about sleep might say on their social media? I'm going to start with one. You guys can jot a couple in there. I know. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. They
Ooh,
might
sluggish.
say
That's a good one.
sluggish. They might say, my kids don't sleep. Help. Right? What are some stories that tired moms say? Right? You're going to search those things in Facebook. And listen, there's a ton of people on Facebook. I bet you're going to find a ton of leads just by imagining what your target audience would say. Stress. What does a stressed person say? I hate Mondays. All right. Oh, my kids are driving me crazy. Right? What are some things that your target audience says, right? And you want to jump on to your search bar and find those people. When you find that person, just take a look at their profile, see if they're actively using their profile. I tend to add people that have anywhere from 900 or more friends. That tells me that they're not super skeptical about adding people that aren't just attending church with them or that they went to high school with, right? People with 900 or more friends also tend, if you're in network marketing, they tend to have a little bit easier success right out of the gate. So I like that because they already have built a small network. Okay. I don't worry about messaging them. I just make sure that the people I'm adding find value in the content that I'm sharing. I'm no longer thinking I'm adding Taryn as a friend on Facebook. No, I'm targeting Taryn as a friend on Facebook to see if he's interested in following me, because when he sees my content, he's going to decide if I'm of value to him. It's not even an offense if he says no, right? So if I'm talking about anxiety and depression and I'm searching for people who are anxious and depressed and I add them, I already know they're going to check out my Facebook profile. And if I'm giving them tons of tips on natural things you can do to help with your stress and anxiety, they might actually add me back. And that's easy to imagine with other platforms like TikTok. You don't think to yourself, I don't know this person, I'm not adding them on TikTok. No, you just follow accounts that you like. So Facebook's actually the same way. There are people who only follow people that they know in real life. And there's a ton of people that just follow and add themselves to groups and get connected because they're looking for and appreciating the entertainment and the value. Okay. So I just don't make it weird. I just go for it. And I don't get very many messages where people are offended by that. I just don't. So the stronger you show up on social media, the higher your success rate that they'll actually add you back. Okay, the other spot that I use search bars for is I join Facebook groups and I will use the search bar in there to see who's actively talking. So if I'm in a homeschool moms group, I might search in their ADHD and see if somebody has attention issues that they're complaining about for their kid. And I may offer free value in the comments and let people decide if they would like more information from there.
So good. I think the only other question we had, and we are going to wrap up in just a few minutes. I think Carrie asked, how do you weed out scammers?
My honest answer to that is it doesn't matter if you don't have a social media account or if you do. There are scammers in the world. Okay. You're going to have them calling you on your telephone. Sometimes they're going to find you by mail. Like you're going to have people knocking on your door. Like stuff just happens. And it's really up to you to decide if that person's trying to scam you and ask the right questions and not get sucked in. And then I just don't worry about it. If somebody's weird or, they have an ulterior motive, I literally block, report the account, and I move on. It doesn't affect my energy at all.
Yeah, and I
was
think
helpful.
I think along with what Chrissy said too, when she's adding people, she tries to pay attention to how many friends do they have. You can look at what country their profile's from. I think that can also help you a little bit as well. If somebody only has 5 or 10 followers and they're from Nigeria, not that all Nigerians are bad, but if you are a real estate agent here or your products are only in the U.S., they're not somebody that you want as a lead anyways, whether they're a scammer or not. And so those are some great things to check.
Nan asked, do you add them without a message? If people add you, the number one rule of thumb is if someone adds you back, absolutely never, ever, ever make your first conversation with them include a do me a favor post, a hey girl post, or a link. It should never be about you, ever. When you're connecting with people, you're thinking customer service, you're thinking, how do I serve them? You're thinking, what questions do I have for you? What can I do for you? And can you tell me about you? Okay. So it's kind of up to you if you want to reach out and be like, hey, super glad. Now, if somebody's friends with you on Facebook, I consider them a follower. So, if they're following you on Facebook, then I would just ask them like, hey, it's great to be connected. I'm just trying to gauge a feel for my audience. Are you here for the entertainment? Are you here for the free value? Or are you looking for whatever it is? Okay, I'm going to pop back into Christine's great examples. Are you looking for improved hair and skin? Like, what is it? And they'll tell you. I don't do that. It's just not something that I do, but I do find reasons to engage with them. I'll usually go maybe appreciate their profile picture. I'll see what they're talking about, and we'll create a connection that way. All right.
Cool.
I think we're good. You guys good? Did you guys get some good value?
This is awesome.
Ready to go? All right, good. If you need any more information, I'm sure we can finish up some final touches on those thoughts. We love you guys. We're so glad you came, and have a wonderful rest of your day and absolute blessings on your business. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.